I have just been betrayed by the two people I trusted most, and I don't know what to feel anymore. I'm sorry if this is annoying. I can't stop thinking about it, and for some reason I feel more secure venting it to strangers rather than people who know me and can judge me more in depth. I won't lie, I have been suspecting my fiancé was having an affair, but I didn't have any solid evidence to accuse him. Even then I had a feeling that I didn't want to dig any deeper because I was scared in case what I was suspecting was true. 12 days ago I came home from visiting my mom's and I headed upstairs to wake my fiancé as he had a habit of sleeping in way past 2 p.m. and then complained that I didn't wake him. I open the door and all I see is my practically naked sister rushing to try and get out of a lingerie bodysuit that belonged to me. I don't know how to explain it, but my mind just went blank, like whatever I was thinking about beforehand suddenly disappeared. You know when you stand up to fast and your head just gets a little dizzy? That's what I felt, alongside the feeling of sickness brewing in my stomach. I stood there for a solid 30 seconds looking at the two people I trusted most look more shocked than I felt. My fiancé jumped out of bed and suddenly came up with excuses. It went from "it was an accident" to "I was lonely and needed sexual relief." I probably should add my best friend killed herself 2 weeks ago. The girl I knew for over 15 years was suddenly out of my life, and even though I'm surrounded by people, eBay told my fiancé about how alone, devastated and guilty that I couldn't have done anything to help her. I just left. I didn't take my car because at that point my eyes were about to just started flooding. I walked to my friend's, 10 minutes, and confided in her about what happened. The amount of grief I felt from not only losing a BFF but losing my relationships with my fiancé and sister within the same 2-week period. Now that I'm sitting down to write this, I don't know if any of these relationships will ever be mended or could ever go back to the way they were. I don't understand why my sister of all people would do this. There was never any favoritism toward any of us for her to feel spite. I have never intentionally tried to hurt her. I gave her shelter when she had no place to go, and despite her not paying a single penny, I bought her food that she liked, made sacrifices in my own home for her. Hell, she kept ranting about how our living room walls gave her a headache. They were white, so I took time out of my day to paint it a nice gray color. My fiancé too. I gave that man everything. I was willing to have kids with him despite the fact I always wanting to be child-free. I was going to start a family so that he was happy. I gave him comfort whenever something bad happened to him. I spent hours watching unfunny movies that he seemed to find hilarious. I even gave him a fucking locket with our anniversary photo and that he decided to wear while sticking it in my sister. These last days I've went from sadness to being angry, then disgusted, and it's a constant cycle I've not been able to get out of. Despite being smoking free for 2 years, I've picked up a cigarette. I used to be heavily addicted to smoking from 16 to 21. I'm currently 23. There's the moments when I go to do something but automatically lose interest, and even times over dinner. I don't know how to explain it properly as I've never felt this way, but I'm bored of eating. I have to physically force myself to eat something, and I have no idea what's going on to my body at this very moment. For some reason it feels as if I've went into hibernation. I sleep almost 17 hours a day now, and even for the rest of those hours I'm still tired and force myself to stay awake. Both of them asked to meet up on Wednesday. My sister's exact message was, "Hey, I know you probably don't want to hear from me right now, but can you meet me and fiancé? We want to talk and we want you to properly hear us out. The situation you found us in was not the most ideal situation to put you in a good headspace to talk about it right there and then. Please let us explain. I love you and you're my sister and I don't want to lose you, please." I think it's too late. It was too late from whenever this affair started, or even when you started getting sexual desires for my fiancé. I miss my sister, but according to what I saw, the sister I miss and whoever my sister is now are not the same person. I haven't talked to anyone yet except the one friend I'm currently staying with at the moment. I'm scared I'll be seen as a failure of a future wife, but now I don't even think I want to be a wife anymore, but I guess I'd rather share to strangers than people who know me personally. I apologize again. Hi! Me again. I'm back and editing the post. At first I was just going to dump this vent to get it out of my mind, but I want to say thank you for everyone's advice. I guess this counts as a small update? I'm unsure. So far nothing big has really happened. The friend I'm staying with has offered to come with me to talk to my parents about this, also including my older brother. She honestly been my rock through this whole situation, and I couldn't ask for a better support system from one person, though I don't plan on putting that on her shoulders since it would be stressful to be the designated support system friend. I'm currently looking into therapy for both my grief and the affair. I'm not well versed legal-wise, so I'm currently in the process of looking for a lawyer just so legally I know I'm in the clear in case there would be a loophole somewhere. I did contact my sister, and another copy-pasted message I replied, "I don't plan on meeting with you on Wednesday. I'll talk to you when I'm ready, and whether it be tomorrow or years from now, it doesn't matter. You both owe me my own time to heal after the two people I've trusted most went behind my back, betrayed my trust all under my roof that you both live rent-free under. Bye." I can't lie, I was almost ready to tell her to meet me there and then when she sent that message, but I've realized, and through help of people in the comments that I can't thank enough, I need time to work on myself mentally rather than repair a long-gone relationship with my sister. No, I don't plan on going back to my ex and never will. Maybe one day I'll hear him out, but today is not that day. As for now, I'm getting ready to try and explain to my parents everything that happened. I don't have any evidence between my ex and sister, however I do have their messages they sent me which traps one another. I think that's the right wording? But anyways, thank you all for the advice and kind comments and messages. Have a good day or night. Update. Hi Reddit, me again. I honestly forgot about this account until the friend I was staying with, I'll just name her Alice, sent me a TikTok where one of those AI voices reads a Reddit post and you'd never guess whose post it was reading. Mine, lol. I wanted to log back on as I wanted to thank the people who showed me more kindness than people I was supposed to trust and also the people who seemed interested in my life. Can't blame them. When I read something that has some drama, I do also become invested. I'll start with myself. I got myself into therapy and began taking care of myself and myself only. Entering my relationship with my ex, I hadn't noticed how much time I spent taking care of him and neglecting myself and my needs. It was one of those relationships that you didn't notice the faults until you leave and become a sort of specter of what the relationship actually was. I think part of me was so invested in believing he was a good guy because how past relationships had hurt me before that I tried very hard to hold on to the idea that I had finally found someone who was different. Loving the wrong person can lead to devastating consequences, and I just happened to do that exact thing. Whenever I had seen stories before about people staying with their cheating partner, I was so quick to criticize how stupid that would be and thought, what did you expect? When they cheat again, but now that I've been through that, it was eye-opening. It's not easy to just up and leave behind someone you had invested so much love, time and effort into. Yes, you can lose all love for that person in seconds, but you never lose the feeling of the love you felt before, if that makes sense. After I found out, I did want to try and work it out for many reasons, but through the help of my therapist, she helped me realize that I wanted to stay because after my best friend's death, he was the only thing that felt familiar in the moment. Everyone is growing up and moving away in my life. I was in a position that I felt so alone. But to expect people not to change is to not allow growth. They moved out of my house and I moved back in. I won't lie, it was lonely. I was so used to other voices in my home that it felt empty. But an empty room is open to hundreds of ideas, in my opinion. I redecorated with the help of friends and some family, and even though I had lost 2 people, thanks to them I was able to make memories that I'll cherish. I won't try and cover up that before I got therapy I was in a wreck. I was just so tired of disappointment from my ex that the cheating was the final blow that knocked me back into reality. My sister's betrayal hurt way worse because we share the same parents, we used to share bunk beds, and without my knowledge shared the same partner. But I owe them a thanks for allowing me to remove people who clearly had no good intentions. I will always love my sister even though I don't want to, but sometimes there are strings attached to people that just can't be cut, and she is one of them. I'll never welcome her into my home again, but I'll answer the phone if she was at her lowest. Even though she was a snake in my garden doesn't mean she's not my sister. She did try to call a couple of weeks after she had moved out, and at first I was angry at her. I honestly just wanted to hit her with everything I had, but when I answered and heard her voice I just felt sorry for her. Everyone in my family knew how terrible she was, and just for some pleasure she ruined the last relationship that was trying to help her. I just think she's a very self-destructive person that will never learn. They were constantly staying at different friends' houses because they couldn't afford to rent anywhere. My sister is apparently cheating on my ex with random people. And none of them are able to hold down a job. I would say karma, but it's just sad. My ex traded someone who became a pushover for him, who gave him everything she could for someone who couldn't give a shit about him. I wish them well. I deserve better than that, and I just hope one day they grow up and begin to become better people than who they are right now. My family no longer talk to my sister, so she's on her own. Some things I hear about her reminds me of just a confused child. However, I did see her on New Year's Eve. Me and some friends went clubbing because why not? And we unintentionally ran into her. At first I tried to ignore her and just pretend I didn't see her, but she ended up coming up to me and tried to talk to me as if nothing happened. As the ex-partner, I wanted to slap her, but as her sister, I wanted to hug her and ask her why. But I just left. After we removed labels of sister or her partner's ex or whatever, we share the same DNA, and that will always be the thing that connects us. As for my dating life, I'm currently seeing someone and have been doing since November 23. I deserve happiness, and I deserve a lot more than what my ex gave me. However, I'm still dealing with issues from that relationship that has me in moments of guilt of not giving my full trust. I'm happy that he understands and listens to me when I have concerns, but I don't want to constantly live with issues I carried because of someone else. We're taking it slow, and he always reassures me he's a good guy and I'm happy he's in my life. I will find my peace with the situation eventually, but I'll have to work to get to that point, and that's okay. Sorry for the whole ramble, but this is still sort of event post. I have a lot of mixed emotions that I haven't been able to untangle. Thank you to everyone who listened, reached out, and gave advice. I appreciate that so much, and I hope everyone had a good new year. I hurt the nicest person I have ever met. This is a throwaway as all people involved are avid Redditors. I need to tell someone what I did. I feel guilty every single day for what I said 4 months ago, and I do not know what to do in order to be able to move on and focus on my life. So I came here hoping that I can find my peace after writing this for complete strangers. I, 30M, have a friend since childhood, Clark, 26M. Clark married July, 24F, 2 years ago. This summer Clark and July invited some of their friends, including me, to their new house in the mountains. There they have a pool, a jacuzzi, and a room for games in which there are even some arcade games. We spent there 1 week and it was amazing. In the first day I was talking to Clark and I told him I wish I were confident enough to go swimming. I was obese for my entire life, but in the last year I managed to lose over 60 kilograms. I went every day to gym and I kept a strict diet and it was worth it. However, now I have a lot of loose skin all around my belly. I told all of these to Clark and July overheard us. She was very nice and said that my loose skin is the result of a very impressive journey, so I should not feel ashamed of it. She encouraged me to go swimming if I wanted to and assured me that nobody is perfect. She even joked that her stretch marks are more visible than my loose skin. The next day, in the morning, July was the only one at the pool. She has extremely light skin and she only stays in the sun during early morning hours and late afternoon hours. I wanted to go swimming, but I was reluctant to do this while she was there. She was again very supportive and even said she can go back inside if I wanted to be alone. I appreciated this, but it did not seem fair, so I just sat on the edge of the pool and talked to her. It was the first time I have ever been alone with her, and I realized she must be one of the nicest people I know. During that week, every morning I woke up very early hoping that July would not be at the pool so I can go swimming, but every morning she was there. At some point, I just got rid of my t-shirt and started swimming in front of her. Her reaction was so nice. Not once she looked at my loose skin and she talked to me like nothing happened. When she went back inside, she said in a very serious tone that I was right to be concerned and not want to be seen without my t-shirt. She said all the single girls would probably pass out if they saw me swimming. I laughed and thanked her for her support and kindness. During the last day, I was talking to July and I thanked her again. She said she felt concerned and anxious about her body for many years, but Clark helped her and now she feels more confident than ever. I looked at her and just saw all her flaws. She was overweight, pale like a vampire, and not a single feature was beautiful or even appealing. She looked so common, like a background character in a very underwhelming movie. In that moment, my big, stupid mouth just said to her what my brain thought. Without any filter, I figured that if you are confident enough to wear a swimsuit, I should also feel confident. I mean, you did not even go to the gym and you are not on any diet, but you are having fun no matter what people think about you. I saw her smile fading away and she suddenly looked so sad. She said that I was right and walked away. Immediately I felt so stupid for what I said. She was nice and kind, and in return I told her she should not be so confident in her body. She showed me a lot of support and I heard her. I apologized that day many times, but each time she just said that it was okay. She never told Clark anything as he acted the same towards me, which is even worse cause it means she is even nicer than I thought. Since that day I saw July only a few times and each time I apologized. However, she is still cold with me and doesn't speak with me at all if we are alone. Tomorrow I will meet her again for Christmas. I bought her a present, a book that she really wanted but could not find it anywhere. I just hope after I will give her the present she will forget me, or at least she will see how much I regret my words. Update. I do not know exactly how to link my previous post, but I heard a nice and kind woman, July, with a very rude and unnecessary comment about her appearance. I said sorry multiple times, and for Christmas I bought her a book that she really wanted but could not find anywhere. This brings me to the events that took place at Christmas dinner. First, I want to say that I cannot cut contact with July as many suggested in my previous post because her husband, Clark, is my childhood best friend. So we had our annual Christmas dinner. We were 16 friends and we gathered at one of our common friends' house. I said hi to July and Clark and we started talking. July was still cold, so I asked if I can talk a bit to her. She was reluctant, but Clark, who doesn't know about what I said to July in the summer, excused himself and let us alone. I gave her the book and I told her I regret what I said and I understand if she never wants to talk to me again, but I cannot cut contact with them as Clark is still my friend. I said that I was and I still am struggling with my own image and self-hatred, but I am currently in contact with a therapist and I will start therapy sessions in January in order not to hurt other people. I apologized again and I said I never wanted to hurt her as she is the nicest person I have ever met. She accepted my gift, but told me that my words not only hurt her deeply, but also made her struggle again with an eating disorder. When I said those things to her, she was actually having a good relation with food and she was going to the gym. When I told her she did not look like having a diet or doing sports, she relapsed and could not eat properly for a few weeks, losing a lot of weight. She told me she always thought highly of me because of all the things Clark had said to her. This is why my words affected her so much. She said she was happy to know that I will address my problems with a specialist and insisted that our next discussion should be after at least 5 sessions. She ended by telling me that she wants our relation to be as before, but I need help and she needs time to figure how not to be so mad at me. We did not talk much after this, but when I was leaving she said goodbye and even shook my hand. I think we are on the right path and I may be having her back as my friend.